Good morning, everyone. So this is my video presentation on Lesson 10, the language of research. Characteristics of the language of research. Research is searching for truth in a systematic way on a scientific method. Doing things in this manner means going into a world of science that deals mostly with facts, principles, theories, generalizations, methods, and the like. Existing within the bounds of science that is quite different from other subjects because of its inclination to special or abstract terms. Research is likewise pregnant with extraordinary terms because this has a language of its own. It has its own organized system of language structures that you, as a researchers, use to communicate with your fellow researchers and with the readers eager to know the findings of your research. Endowed with special knowledge, meaning, ideas that are applicable to a particular purpose. You possess as a certain expertise that only people belonging to your area of specializations find understandable and easy to relate themselves with. Your expertise or special knowledge in research causes you to use words, phrases, and other language structures whose meanings and uses as familiar with or commonly only the engaged in research. For non-researchers, unless they purposely read books on research, the language of research appears as jargon. Jargons are terms considered as technical because they are commonly used only people belonging to the same field of specializations, exclusively used by a specific set of persons like the engineers, doctors, lawyers, architects, or businessmen, among others. These terms do not sound familiar or understandable to ordinary person in society. Next, we will talking about the research language formation. The specialized form of the language of research are caused the following factors. Number 1, multisyllable words. Some terms reflecting the inherent characteristics of the research as a scientific method as made up of a number of syllables such the following. Theoretical concepts, empirical, observable, probabilistic, uncertain, quantitative, numerical, qualitative, opinionative, scientific, systematic, inquiry, investigation. Number 2, types and forms of questions. Research has its own type of questions. It has to ask questions that describe, show relationships, and give reason behind the occurrence of something. For instance, for a qualitative research, questions to be asked must elicit views, emotions, or opinions of people. Quantitative research, on the other hand, asks questions about the exact number, percentage, or frequency of things. Informative questions, rather than yes or no questions, are the appropriate questions to ask in research. Number 3, span of time covered by the research. Owing to the length of time, months, or years that takes place in study, research introduced the terms cross-sectional and longitudinal studies. Cross-sectional study involves a one-time collection of data in a span of time. Longitudinal study, repeated collection of data for the purpose of finding out changes of pattern over time. Number 4, variable relationships, concerning itself with whether or not a variable has effects on another variable, based on cause-effect relationships and on a certain pattern that may result in a positive or negative relationship. Research came up with the following terms for variable. First, independent variables, the cause of something. Second, dependent variables, bears the effect of the independent variables. Third, extraneous variable, extra or unexpected variable cropping up outside the research design. Fourth, confounding variables, unstable variable. Number 5. Formulation of hypothesis. Forming of hypothesis indicates the staging of a research. It signals the occurrence of a scientific or investigative way of doing things. Hence, these are these terms: null hypothesis for guessing negative results of research, and alternative hypothesis for positive results. Number 6. Data. These are facts, information, or logically derived form of knowledge that are called qualitative data if they are verbally and subjectively expressed, quantitative data if they are numerically and objectively expressed. Number 7. Unit of analysis. The subject or object of your research study makes up one major entity, and this may either be one of the following. Number 1. Individual, group, artifacts. For example, painting, books, travelogue. Number 2. Geographical unit. For example, municipality, province, country. Number 3. Social interaction. For example, husband, wife, teacher, learner, employer, and employee. Next, operational definition. Meaning of operational definition. Concepts, theories, principles, assumptions, predictions, and other abstract terms are the catchword of research. These are cognitively coined terms that appear so complex to readers, in general, especially those with zero background knowledge about research. A theoretical definition, explanation based on the concept or knowledge related to the field of discipline and widely accepted as correct, prevents readers from immediately seeing the relationship or relevance of things involved in the research. One way of giving a clear meaning of a concept or anything involved in the research is to define it operationally. What is an operational definition? Operational definition is making the concept or the thing meaningful by specifying the way your research should measure such concept. It defines the basic concept through the operation used or research actively involved to measure the concept. Making concept measurable indicates that the operational definition is a component of an empirical process that requires observation for distinguishing the concept from other ideas, for measuring it with precision, and for making it meaning clearly. Defining the term based on its operation or application in the research gives other researchers the opportunity to evaluate the measurement procedure and to repeat such procedure in their own research studies. The following example gives you an idea on how to define a term operationally. Guidelines in giving operational definitions. Gleaned from books on research are following pointers on defining terms operationally. Number 1. Have a clear understanding of the concept. Focus on by your study before you begin defining such concept operationally. Number 2. Base your operational definition on the concept under study. 3. Express the operational definition in only one sentence. 4. Let the operational definition explain the measurement of variable clearly. 5. Construct an operational definition that other researchers can understand, assess, and repeat in other research studies. Example of operational definitions. Number 1. Defining temperature. In theoretical conceptual definition, heat flowing between infinite reservoir. In operational definition, define temperature in a relation to operation with gas thermometers. Number 2. Defining electric current. In theoretical conceptual definition, force between two parallel conductors. In operational definition, mention the device current balance to measure electric current. Number 3. Defining anger. In theoretical conceptual definition, intangible, not directly measured by observation. In operational definition, mention facial expression, vocabulary, or voice tone to measure anger. Number 4. Defining Virgo. In theoretical conceptual definition, constellation of star cannot tell the process of formation. In operational definition, mention the way of locating Virgo in the sky, repeatable process.